Courtside, ladies and gentlemen. Back on week number 8 here. Mike's out at Tybee Island, and he's on the phone right now, and we'll talk about this week's highlights.
Well, let's get this and go. Let's get it going, big fella.
All right. Monday night, I talked about CAI and Providence. Providence swept CAI. It was a close first set, but too much Providence.
Well, Providence too much. They got too many weapons. The two Horning sisters alone, but they're a very, very gifted team. CAI is going to ride Stumler as far as they can go, and to see that one of the sets was really close doesn't surprise me. That's the kind of player she is, but she's probably not enough to get through a team as good as Providence. So no surprise there.
Yep. Thursday night, a couple sweeps. We had Zionsville sweep Brownsburg. I think that was their senior night, and then Muncie Burris got swept by Yorktown.
Brownsburg and Burris are two historic programs in Indiana. They've had great past, great traditions. Both are still in a little bit of a rebuilding phase. Zionsville awfully good. They got nicked up a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, but they're still a very, very good team. Then you look at Newcastle. Once again, Newcastle just too many weapons for Burris,
yep.
and a lot of spots where they're hard matchups for Burris or anybody.
Yep. Then we had the county championship in Delaware. Yorktown ended up bringing home the championship, beating Westdown in the final, but beat Wapahani in 4 on Thursday night, and then Delta Saturday morning in straights.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, Yorktown, after watching them play, I finally got to see them live, and man, they are good. They are very, very fast. They're running a faster tempo set than I've ever seen them run to the pins. Bella Rosenthal is really, I know she's a bro by nature, and she's a kid that's going to be a defensive specialist at the next level, but she's setting as well as anybody in the state of Indiana. Then you take into consideration that Murr and Knuckles are doing things that most kids don't do, even at the college level. Their passing precision is spot on, and they're doing it somewhat effortlessly, just rolling. So that Yorktown team is too clean and too fast for anybody. WAP did give them a little bit of a run, and WAP is a very, very good team, but not quite Yorktown. And it is a speed issue for everybody.
Yeah. Rayna James, Player of the Week, got Emma Kleins. She's a senior at Bluffton. She has recorded so far in the year in 84 total sets, 251 blocks.
That's unreal.
What the heck?
You there, Biggs?
Yeah. Hold on, because I'm getting a phone call.
What'd you say?
All right, we're good. Back to the show now. Sorry, I had a phone call and then it kicked you off for some reason. So we're still back on here. We were talking about.
I thought you'd fired me. I thought you were going to fire me and pick up Geneva as a guest host.
No.
No, but those are incredible numbers. 251 blocks is. There's teams that don't have that in the season, so that's big time. It's kind of a blindside blocker there. That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
Congrats to her.
Yeah.
Congrats to her.
Lazy Boy Games of the Week. Really a great Thursday, but we'll talk about Tuesday first. Tuesday night, we got Fishers and Brebeuf.
Oh, he's still there?
Yeah.
You said that. What was that? What was the first Lazy Boy game?
Lazy Boy Games of the Week. Tuesday night, we got Fishers and Brebeuf.
Fishers and Brebeuf. Wow. Well, Brebeuf's been knocking. We've had Brebeuf as a team that we thought had a shot to get to the 3A title. We haven't given them much love in the rankings, even though they're probably starting to deserve some. Fishers, I tell you, man, Fishers is the real deal. That'll be a good game. Where's that game at, Brebeuf?
It's at Brebeuf.
I'm going to go with Fishers. Just a little too much net play for Brebeuf right now. Brebeuf's a little young. Yep. I go Fishers.
On Thursday night, We got 4 big matches. We got Yorktown's heading to Newcastle. That should be a great game.
Yorktown, Newcastle really depends on Newcastle.
Yeah.
Newcastle has some size, and size is still one of the things that, if you can take care of the ball, size can give Yorktown some trouble. That's when they've lost early in the season. It was a big team, a big Avon team. But if Newcastle doesn't handle the ball, they're going to get blitzed with speed. I like both of those teams. I think Newcastle is a team that's trying to find its identity. I think that Newcastle's only chance of winning is to take care of the ball and make it a big physical net match. But I don't see that happening. I think Yorktown's a team there.
Yeah. And then we got up north, Michigan City versus Crown Point. It's really Crown Point's last big-time matchup before they head to the tournament.
I like Crown Point. I like Crown Point in that game. I like Crown Point in the sweep.
Yeah.
There's just too many athletes.
Yeah. And then probably one of the marquee matches right here on Thursday night, Zionsville will head to Avon.
Well, that was the match that I said would have been one of the hiccups on the Zionsville schedule.
Yep.
Early on. Zionsville, Avon, always a good match. I tell you, 2 great setters, some great net play, 2 great middles. I think this thing comes down to Eastridge on the right side. I think that she's a difference maker over there, and I think whoever wins the right side battle is probably going to win that match. I like Avon in that match. Just more experience at that type of level game. They had a tough schedule this season, and they've had some guys that have been through some wars. So I'm going to go with those guys, even though that 9-man senior class of Zionsville has done well. I think that Avon's a team to beat.
Yeah. And also on Thursday night, HSC will be taking on McCutchen. McCutchen's only a 4-team loss on the year so far. I know they lost a couple matches early in the year. We were talking about them, and they've been
they're good. They're really, really good. No, HSC is definitely on the rebound. They're winning games. They've won 15 of their last 16. They've played by far the toughest schedule in the state. They're battle tested, and that's one of the things McCutchen still isn't.
Yeah,
McCutchen doesn't have that schedule, and they don't have that big game savvy that HSE and Jason Young have. I'm going to go HSE in that game, but a good game.
Definitely.
Good game.
Saturday night, we talked about it a little bit ourselves in the office and everything. Center Grove will be heading to Yorktown.
Well, so much of that match depends on whether Hamill's back. Setter goes down with an ankle injury. Middle went down, but came back later in the tournament this weekend. But, the first time this season, they've gotten a little bit of a bug, and a couple of guys out, and it changed them a lot. They lost twice this weekend. And I think that, once again, if you're not on all cogs, you're not beating Yorktown. And so I'm going to go Yorktown in that one as well.
Yep. All right, we'll talk about courtside, love it or shove it. We talked about it like last year, probably week 3 or 4 we did it, and we're bringing it back here. Love it or shove it. Do you like the new, kind of going back to the old state tournament layout, 4 regional teams in each regional instead of the Tuesday nights and 2
No, I
teams.
love it. I love it. I know exactly where you're going. I love it because I'll tell you, any coach in the state will tell you, I hated the Tuesday match. You get done on Saturday, you're fighting like crazy to get film or any information you can on the team. You get one day to prepare at best. I didn't like that format, really. I mean, you got to play them all and win them all, but that format really didn't work for me, and I think a lot of others didn't like it. I like the new format and allow for better volleyball. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
We got 2 more. Indiana teams. Are they getting enough love across the national polls? Usually we're consistently 3 to 5 teams in the top 100. I know Max Preps has got a couple of us in the top 20. You loving it or you shoving it?
Now, you broke up there, Randy. You said how many teams are ranked in the top 100?
Consistently 3 to 5 throughout the year. Right now, I think we're sitting at about 5, and I know we have 2 in the top 20 on Max Preps.
Yeah, that's what I love it. I love where we're at. I think that one of the reasons that the Indiana high schools aren't getting, even more love or higher overall rankings is it's kind of a cannibalistic situation right now. Those guys are, picking off each other. They all play each other, so they're all, getting nicked up or taking a loss here and there. And so ultimately, that's the difference.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these states have teams that have gaudy records and not losing the game. But we have such parity in the state right now that it's really creating a situation where it's going to be hard for anybody to have a high national ranking because you're not going to be able to have those kind of records.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Yep. And then last one, since we've had a pretty consistent top teams in the state of Indiana, the top 5 really haven't changed a lot. Or we do some upsets. So is it going to be a little March Madness? Do you think it's a love it or shove it?
Well, I think you're going to see some upsets.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see some upsets for a couple of reasons, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it next week and talk about the tournament in detail. But I think that health is going to play a role. I just talked about Center Grove being beat up. You never know what's going to happen to teams down the stretch. Health is going to play a big role. One of the other things is with those huge records and massive win streaks that a lot of these teams have going right now, they're due.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to be up for you. I mean, everybody will be up for you. I think that you're going to see some upsets. I don't think they're going to be massive upsets. I think you'll see upsets where a third or fourth ranked team knocks somebody off. I mean, Providence, Yorktown, Avon, Zionsville, Center Grove, all those guys are capable of winning. So they could all be deemed upsets at some point. So I'm going to say that you're going to see the upsets. I think it's coming. I'm going to be all about the love today. I love all of them.
I like it. We'll go ahead and get to the Gear Munciana top 10 then. We had some honorable mention teams. We talked about Michigan City, 28-3 on the year. Took down a handful of teams this past week. CAI, 26-2 on the year. Only loss really to Providence. And then Fort Wayne Leo, now 22-2. We didn't see them this weekend. They weren't at the Southwood.
Yeah. I tell you the team that I like in that honorable mention. I like all those teams. Obviously, I've been on the CAI bandwagon all year because some of them. I like Hamilton Southeastern. Yeah. I like where they're going. Their record isn't as flashy as some of those guys, but they've played a brutal schedule. They've had some ups and downs health-wise, had some ups and downs learning-wise. They had a lot of young kids having to step into spots. But they are really starting, other than the loss to Yorktown, they've played as well as anybody down the stretch. And, I got to think that they're peaking at the right time. But I like those guys in the honorable mention spot.
Number 10, who do you got?
I'm going to stay with Dwenger. Yeah, I'm going to stay with Dwenger at 26-1. I don't think they're playing the schedule that some of these other guys are, but they're also winning. And, winning isn't always easy. And so I like those guys at 26-1. I don't know how far they get in the tournament, but I think they're in our top 10 this week.
Yeah. All right, number 9.
WAP, doing the WAP. I love Wapahani. I really like what their team's doing. They're the really, other than the Avon loss, they're the only guys to really press Yorktown.
Yeah.
They're big and they're physical. They've got the pieces it takes to win. They did lose to Yorktown this week, but that's not a bad thing. They're number 9, and they could be higher.
Yeah. All right, number 8.
I like Fishers. I like the physicality. I like what Hernandez is doing at the net. As a team, they still got to learn how to win, and they got to learn how to win big games. They've never had any experience at that. But at 22-3, they're still rolling, and I think they're going to be a hard out for somebody in the tournament. So I keep them at 8.
Yep. All right, number 7.
Covenant Christian. Covenant Christian is right now kind of like Boise State and TCU and football, Gonzaga for years. No one's going to give them love because of their schedule, but you got to put them up there because no one's beating them.
Yep.
29-0. I've said it before. It's not that darn easy to win all the time, and so until these guys get it going, until somebody beats them, they're going to be in the top 10.
Yeah.
But they're having a heck of a season.
Yep. Number 6.
Center Grove, and I'm only going to drop them down one spot, even though they lost to both HSE and Noblesville. The injury to Hamill is significant because he's such a big piece of what they do. Very gifted young setter. And they had other guys that were a little beat up and nicked in that weekend match. If these guys can get healthy, they can make a run. If they can make a run, I'm keeping them at 6.
Yep. All right, top 5.
Zionsville is my number 5. Guys are getting a little rowdy over here at the just a little watering hole on that, Tybee. So
nice.
I hope they're not talking too loud. Zionsville, number 5. Good week for them. They've taken down Brownsburg, and Brownsburg is always a talented group. They beat a good Lawrence North team. So at 23-2, tonight, this week's matchup with Avon is huge for them. They need to win a big match. Just because of the fact they've never been in a state championship. They haven't played a lot of big matches. This week will really go a long ways to telling us who they are.
I agree. All right, number 4.
Crown Point, and like you said, they got one last real hurdle, and then they're going to come into this tournament with a major win streak.
Yep.
If those guys shore up some passing issues, that team could be in the state championships. I mean, they're physical enough. They've got a Terminator. They've got solid setting. They're good. So they're number 4.
All right, number 3.
Best crowd in the land, Providence. I'm keeping Providence there quietly, and it's odd. We've given so much attention to Yorktown and Avon all year long, not as much to Providence. All Providence has done is win 30 out of 31 matches.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good. They are really, really good. Now, the question would arise for me is, if Yorktown continues to play as fast as they are, can Providence beat them? Because, last year, that was the difference. Yorktown was so fast. I'm telling you right now, this Yorktown team's even faster this year. The Horning sisters, it'll be interesting. They're a very, very gifted group, and that's why they're 3.
Yep. All right, number 2.
Yorktown, holding steady. All they did was win. I watched them against New Pal, and Veneman is quite a player, and defensively they pretty much kept her under attack. I mean, defensively, this Yorktown team is spectacular. The place where I really love them is first ball contacts. I love their pass and serve game. I also will tell you the thing that really surprised me is how good Bella Rosenthal is. I mean, she is absolutely kicking sets out, and they're tempo sets. They're second tempo, first tempo sets. Nothing very high. The ball very rarely gets above the antenna. And so they're just beating people with speed and precision, and they're doing it well. So they're my number 2.
And number 1.
Avon. Avon is the most resemblant of a college team in our rankings because of their size and their setting and their ball handling. They have the whole package. I'm really anxious down the stretch to see what happens. Coaching is going to play a huge role in the tournament this year, more than ever, because there's so much parity. Yeah. There's a lot of teams that are, if not even, very, very close. And so this is going to come down to who's healthy and who's got good leadership at the setter position and coach position. Avon's got both of those as well. So, right now I keep them at 1, but I'm telling you, any one of those top 4 or 5 teams could be there.
Yeah, no doubt. And then we got the selection show tonight. They're doing it kind of this evening. I think it's online as well. That'll be tonight at 7 o'clock. So next week will be all the sectional.
Well, that's awesome. Well, buddy, that's all my time.
Sounds good. Enjoy the beach.
So, hopefully folks enjoy it. And and I'll see you in a couple of days.
Sounds good.
See you, man.
See ya.